Judo. What can be said about her? Whether you like her or hate her, she is one of the many Bluey kid characters that you should at the very least be aware of. And today, let's go over her deeds from good to evil. Now, since she is a minor character, this list is not going to be that long, but also, we thought we'd include one rule. If we do see her on screen and she isn't aware of the plot or she doesn't have a speaking role, we decided not to include episodes like that on the list, with only one exception just to make this pattern at least a little longer. So like usual, let's start things off with the good deeds and work our way up. But we're actually going to go from the least good deed up until the most good, and she only has 3 good deeds. So this might be a bit quick, but we'll try to at the very least explain it so that way we don't go over this in less than 2 minutes. So, taking our, only least good as well as the bronze medal of good deed is having a playdate in Sticky Gecko. Now, she is mentioned rather than not on screen, but we thought we'd include this anyway, since this did take place after the Butterflies episode. And don't worry, we will get to that later. Honestly, there's not really a lot to say, it's just Bluey, Bingo, and Chili getting late, but then coincidentally, Wendy and Judo are actually going to run late as well. And that's about it. Chili does mention that Bluey has been wanting to have a playdate with Judo for a while now, so maybe this was after they made up and Judo just wanted to be nice to her. Who really knows? Honestly, this doesn't even need to be on this list, but we thought we'd include it anyway, so that way this video could have a decent runtime. Also, this just barely gets on the list for having at the very least a mention of her, compared to other episodes that just have her not speaking or anything. Anyway, now on to the time where she actually was on screen. The silver medal of good goes to apologizing and butterflies. Now don't worry, we'll get to the rest of this episode later, but as of right now though, we thought we'd include the ending. Now Judo just gives out a firm apology, and then they all hug it out in the end. That's literally it. She doesn't have any in-depth apology or anything, but we're still gonna give this a decent spot on the good list, because at the very least she did make up for, mostly everything in the episode. We'll get to it later, don't worry. But finally, taking home the gold medal of good is trying to play in the dirt pile. Now, compared to Butterflies, where she was mostly a brat, and again, for the 3rd time we're saying this, we will get to it. Here, Judo has no negative qualities at all. She just sees Bluey and Bingo playing in a huge pile of dirt and wants to join in. She originally does try without trying to get her fur all dirty, which backfires until later on in the episode where she and even Wendy herself become completely bald, and then Judo just dives right into the dirt pile. What makes this rank at the top of the list is that she just wanted to play with Bluey and Bingo, and even losing all of her fur in the process just so that she could try and play with them, and even Wendy being surprisingly okay with it. But we did mention it in our Bluey Moms video in case anyone does want to check it out. For as much as she just wanted to play with Bluey and Bingo, she was willing to do anything just to get in the dirt pile, even shaving off almost all of her fur to become completely bald just to join in, and that's some dedication right there. This easily does get the gold medal of good for having no bad intentions, no negative qualities or anything like such in this episode. She just genuinely wanted to play with Bluey and Bingo in the big pile of dirt, even willing to just become bald in the process. Now, since Judo only has 3 good deeds, she only has 1 bad deed, and you all know what we're right about to say that we mentioned multiple times. So, say it with us now. It's every time she was a brat in Butterflies. Honestly, where do we even start with this? For one, she does seem to be pretty jealous of Bingo because she does claim that Bluey is her friend, even though Bingo is Bluey's sister, Judo. Then she becomes bossy about Bingo being too small to be a butterfly, which, harsh, but she's just a little younger of a kid after all. Then at one point when Bingo is taking too long to become a butterfly in the cocoon, Judo even ditches Bingo, goes to the front of Bluey's house, and Bluey just goes along with it. But when Bingo does find out that the both of them actually ditched her, Judo for some reason just goes back to her place, and Bluey insistently goes along with her. Then Judo insists that Bluey plays phones, getting bossy until Bluey does actually answer, but when Judo starts talking, she doesn't even seem to fully care. Just blabbering it off. And this continues until she does actually come back and apologize. Now, the ending where she does apologize is a good deed, but for everything else before that happened, this, without any question, gets the gold medal for evil of the worst deed that Judo has done. Thankfully, she isn't that same bossy person anymore.